In today's informational video, I will be showing you how to insulate the rim joists in a crawl space. This section here. You will need some foam board and some great stuff. We have went with 7.5 R. Now to find out how much insulation board you'll need, just kind of look and see what the average width is. It was about 14 inches. So then we went and we counted how many slots we have on average all the way around, times that by 14 inches divided by 12, and that gives you about how many feet you need in 7 inches, with the width being 7. Do a little math, write out your board. These boards come in 4 feet by 8, and you can just kind of separate it by 7, see how much you'll need. Not too shabby. Now, we already insulated the walls with some foam board, glued it on, painted the back as a vapor barrier. So let's get started on showing you how to do the rim joist. Now, we're gonna cut all the foam pieces that we need outside in the garage to make it easier. So to do this, we're gonna make a list. The list will include 1 to 10, followed by how many pieces we need. Now, we know our board is 7 inches, so we're gonna cut the foam at 7 inches. Now, because this is our first slot in the crawl space, we're gonna look at our tape and we're gonna write down 8.5. So, slot 1, we have 8.5. Now, we're gonna measure each slot down here, write down what it needs to be, and that way we can cut all the pieces in the garage, and then we'll proceed to the next step. All right, so I made the list, went around the room. I skipped large parts, or parts that are gonna be a little different, just out of convenience. Like you can see here, this is a long part. I also skipped corners, because we'll do that later. Now, we're gonna take these numbers in the garage, but we're gonna subtract 1/2 inch from all these numbers. That way it gives your foam room to expand when you put your board in there around all the corners. So the 7 will really be a 6.5. All right, in the garage here, I've cut my first piece. We used a straight edge with a razor. We didn't go all the way through, easily snapped it, tape measure. First cut we did 7, so we did it at 6.75 inch. And then our first measurement for our first place was 8.5. So we did that guy at 8.25. We're gonna go test, make sure this guy fits. All right, let's check how our piece fits. So put it up in there, and it fits good, and we have room to put our foam around the edges. Let's get the rest cut. All right, first piece fit good, so we're just gonna keep going ahead and label which piece goes where, make the cut, and then you can easily break it, keep track of which one you're on. All right, did you watch this high-speed video of me cutting the board here? Give me a chance to say I went back and forth between subtracting 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. If you just subtract 1/2 inch, the board will go in a little easier. Use a little bit more foam. If you just subtract 1/4, it's a little tighter, a little less foam. And I've used about 3 bottles of the great stuff to do that basement. Make sure you buy like 5, just so you don't have to go to the store. Now that we have a good majority of our pieces cut, we're gonna bring these to the basement and get started installing. Now I got my foam laid out according to the number. I already started. Show you here, we put that in. You're gonna spray that foam around her. Now you don't have to go overboard, because remember that stuff's gonna expand quite a bit. See what it looks like when it's done. If you run into a problem like this, or your board is cockeyed, just take your razor blade, make a cut it down, snap it, and then it'll fit right in place. Now when you run into a pipe like this, just cut your foam up, so that way you can insert it and then just spray foam to seal up the gaps. So, like your small little cutouts, for longer sections, you're just gonna use a longer board. This was 2 pieces of scrap board I had left over, so I did the same thing, but I just sealed up in the middle, so there's less waste. Now for corners, you're gonna wanna measure your board, put it in, and then measure the other side now that you have your subtracted thickness. Sometimes you might have to cut the pieces in half to make them fit. Just make sure you seal up the center of them. That's all you gotta do. All right, day 2 in the basement. foam sealed up good. We now have a clean, comfortable, airtight, insulated crawl space. Thanks for watching this video.